This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. JList and JBox.com have a huge variety of magazines and study materials available. All brand new August 2020 anime magazines. They've got the new type magazine from August, Dengeki Moyo, Megami or a Goddess magazine is very popular. The all new Comptic magazine. All these from August 2020. Listen, if you want to keep up with whatever's happening in anime, Japanese culture, you're going to want to go to JList or JBox, pick up one of these August 2020 magazines because it's going to keep you on the cutting edge of what's going on over in Japan. And of course, while you're there, if you've ever wanted to study Japanese, learn a thing or two, they've got a lot of study materials, tons of hiragana drilling workbooks, and nothing helps you learn hiragana more than just drilling it through your head. Kanji workbooks of all levels, and of course, the ever-famous Genki grammar textbook, which I have also used myself. So head over to JList or JBox.com, and you can grab yourself some anime magazines or some study materials to learn from. Now it's time to start the podcast.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 532 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we are dedicated to making your anime addiction worse. I am one host of three today. I am Mandi, and I am joined by Mason. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing quite well. This is like the first day that's not 90 degrees out. It's in like the 80s, so I'm doing pretty well.
It's 83 here, so still pretty hot though. And we also have Mitsugi. How are you?
I am half dead today. One of the longest, most difficult hikes of my life. If you look closely on Twitch, you can see that I have a sunburn on my forehead in the shape of the opening of a backwards ball cap, which I wore hiking the whole day, and the 50% of my upper body is burned, and I can't walk. But hey, I'm here. Let's fucking do it! God damn, let's go!
Chat has already guessed the manga that is on my desk, so congratulations. It is Act Age.
No monster today, Mitz? No monster?
Good. No, and you're asking that just because you want me to pump it. So I have indeed a gallon. Now I put a little flavoring in it, I'll drink it a little quicker. But I have committed to drinking this whole gallon of water in the course of this podcast. So we'll see. That
looks like pee. That definitely looks like pee.
I was going to say, if he has to run away halfway through and we just get silence from him.
How is that water? What is in that water?
I put a couple squirts of like Kool-Aid flavoring in it.
It's got electrolytes. It's got Brando. It's got what plants need.
I need everything I can get right now.
So yeah, if you would like to join us, you can go to aapodcast.com/join to create an account, and you can get bonus content there for only a few dollars. You can get hentai episodes, you can get our hobby addict episodes, which today we talked about games and books, and Mitsuki talked about his hiking, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. Movies. You can get all of that if you sign up, and you can also get after parties where we literally just fuck around for an hour.
Talking about Hostess cupcakes versus Little Debbie.
And you can also go to all of our social media accounts. If you go to Twitch and follow us there, you can get updates on when we are broadcasting live on Sundays, every Sunday, 5 p.m. EDT. And you can go to our group at Facebook, is still going. Go to Twitter, where we keep you updated on what we have going on in the community. You can also go to our website at aapodcast.com and find a button there to join our Discord, which is where you really want to be, because that is where we have groups and all kinds of watch parties and stuff that you can join. So what is going on in Discord?
Well, we just finished up our first movie watch party. We watched Lone Wolf and Cub last Friday, and it was a pretty good time. We played some bingo. I think officially Caroline won bingo, but I think we were all winners there. So it was a good time. We might do another one in the future. So if you're interested, let us know if you are and what movie we should do. also on yesterday, we started up the new season of seasonal watch parties, which takes place at 10 p.m. EDT. So if you want to see what the new anime season has in store, that's a good place to check it out. So we've got that going on as well. Finally, for me, we have our anime club, which we are doing Death Parade next on July 15th. So if you have or haven't seen the show, finish it and then come to that day where we discuss it. You just jump in the chat and we discuss what we thought about the events, the characters, the whole shebang, how good the OP was. It'll be a good time. I think we'll be dancing by the end of it.
Yeah. We also have my manga club, and our next manga club will be on July 22nd. We will be going over the first 2 volumes of Knights of Sidonia. I do not have it yet. It's supposed to be delivered today, so you might hear my doorbell at some point in this recording.
Ding dong.
Of them delivering my book. I was hoping to get it tomorrow, but they decided today. Anyways, but yeah, all you gotta do is go to our Discord, go down to the manga club chat. You check the pin note there for details on the time, which is 10 p.m. EDT, and the chapters that we are reading, the book, and what we have coming up next in our club. And if you join on that date and time, in the Manga Club voice chat, it'll just be a very laid-back discussion. You don't even have to talk. So come join us. It'll be fun.
I'll tell you right now, pretty much it feels like all social interaction online is gradually shifting towards Discord. So
yeah,
you have no reason not to. Like forums, they're extinct,
yeah, I'll be honest. It feels weird, like still like advertising our Facebook group, because I'm like, who uses Facebook anymore? I never go on there, so...
Does anybody use Facebook?
Doubt it. I don't know. If you guys do, let us know.
No. Let us know on Facebook.
Let us know on Facebook, because we won't see it, but
Yeah.
You know what's up.
So yeah, what we have coming up today, we have Bring Your Own Topic, which is where all 3 of us have brought some kind of discussion to the table. It's just another free discussion for us to talk about things that are anime related or anime adjacent. And then we have a review of Kaguya-Sama Love is War Season 2 coming up later on. That'll be fun.
Does it have to be war? Can't love just be love?
Love is love?
Love is love,
That's not as dramatic.
I think the English version of the season 2 title is just Kaguya-Sama Love is War with a question mark at the end. Like,
oh, what does that
war?
mean? Is there going to be some kissy action? Kaguya kissing.
God, I hope not.
Kaguya and president sitting in a tree. Eating mochis with you and me. All right.
It's time for big news of the week.
Man, he's like, that was the most painful thing I've ever had to endure.
Yeah, can we just go? I'm just kidding.
Can I just please forget that ever happened? All right.
Our big news of the week. Hey guys, Junji Ito's Tomie is getting a live action.
Good God.
I'm excited. Although,
have you seen any of the other Tomie live actions?
Not Tomie. I didn't know there was a Tomie one. I know there is one for Uzumaki and there's one for Gyo.
I think there's like 6 Tomie live actions.
What? Live action? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they're all mostly terrible as well.
I've also heard awful things about Gyo and Uzumaki. I haven't seen them. I should though. I need to watch those.
Maybe we should do that for a movie night.
Maybe Gyo wasn't a live action. I think Gyo was an anime.
Gyo was animated. There's the Long Dream and Uzumaki got live actions, and then I think a ton of Tomie's.
I didn't know that.
How in the hell are they gonna do this? I mean, his imagery is so just morbid and fucked up. For lack of a better word. Like, I'm just looking at. I haven't read Tomie, but I did read Uzumaki, and I know it's messed up stuff. And so I'm just looking at the just manga pages from Tomie, and it's like, holy shit! Like, I don't know. I mean, are they gonna have a truckload of CG in this to make these images possible? Because some of this shit is wild to look at.
I would say so, but I don't know. They have a lot of people who have experience in the horror genre on it, so I don't know. I don't think it's going to require so much CG that it'll be ridiculous. I don't know. We'll have to see. But the director is Alexandre Aja. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Aha.
Aha.
It's AJA, Aja, or I'm not sure, but he worked on High Tension and Crawl. And when I'm looking through other things that he worked on, The Hills Have Eyes. He worked on Piranha 3D.
The Hills Have
Oh,
Eyes
wow.
kind of gives me hope, though. Those
Right?
are, disconcerting.
And then the writer is David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. That's a long name. But
Just making up for Aha.
Aha. He worked on The Conjuring 2 and Aquaman. So between like The Conjuring 2 and some of the stuff that Alexandre has worked on, that's a lot of horror movies. So I have some hope with this one.
Yeah, it's interesting we're getting a live action of Tomie, and then of course the Adult Swim, like 4-episode Uzumake coming out. I still think it's planning in 2020, so
I'm so excited.
I also found out, I didn't know that was going to be all in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me
super
more hyped
excited.
about it.
Yes. It looks like the manga come to life. I'm so excited for it.
2020 is the year of no color. Uzumaki, no color. Ghost of Tsushima, option, no color.
Who
Overrated.
Who the hell would want to play Ghost of Tsushima in black and white?
I think a lot of
kind
people.
of cool.
I think a lot of people are into that concept because it's supposed to mirror like the old like samurai films.
Wow.
And
All right.
Blade of the Immortal too, right? Was it Blade of the Immortal that it's supposed to be like?
Yeah, maybe conceptually, but I don't know if that's like stylized to be black and white. But either way.
Well, it says the platform that this one is going to be on is Quibi, which is an American short form mobile video platform headquartered in Los Angeles, California. The film will star Adeline Rudolph, who worked on The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And of course, the plot, which if you're not familiar with Tomie, they wrote it down as based on the cult hit manga. Tomie is the story of what happens when a beautiful high school girl goes missing and pieces of her body are discovered scattered around a small town. But what starts out as a murder mystery turns into something even more horrific. We read this from Manga Club not too long ago, and I think we did. I know we did Uzumaki. We did this one too, didn't we?
We did Uzumaki, and isn't Tomie like included in the like collection that we read?
No, Tomie has its own collection, but I'm pretty sure we read all this one too, because I think we compared like how the earlier chapters look so much different, and like we could see the evolution of his art over time, because it was like a really long span of time that this one released.
I'm trying to remember. I know I've read it, but I don't know if we read it and discussed it. But
I'll look at our list, but I'm pretty sure we did. But I love me some Junji Ito, so I'm excited.
What the hell is Quibi? I mean, I know you just read it, but it's like, does that mean it's only coming out on that? Because I've never heard of it. So
neither have I.
And Manny's never heard of it. Like, we've never heard of it. So it's like, how many people could really be using it? And then it's like, it would be a shame if they made a movie of Junji Ito, especially if it's a good movie, and then like no one gets to see it because no one's got Quibi. Like, what the hell is Quibi, and why is it named that? I don't like the name.
Cube would have gotten the anime fans.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I don't like the name. I don't know what it is. Is it an app? I don't. What the fuck? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, I know like the Monogatari series released like some of their stuff on like a mobile platform only thing. So like, guess it's kind of a thing. I don't know. I've never heard of it either. So we'll see.
Okay. We read Tomie April of 2019.
Damn, how do you even know
that? It's on our list. We have a list.
Okay. You could have been like, my memory is just that good. So
it's just that good. I am actually Icy Rose.
Oh, wow. I wish I could literally have 5% of the memory that Icy Rose has. That would be great. That would be an improvement for me. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else, guys?
Nope.
No, read Junji Ito.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
I'm like picking through my anime list news section, and it's like when I see a property and there's like 100 comments, I'm always like, wow, somebody must give a shit about this. So we're going to get to those. But first, Caroline kept wanting us to talk about Ascendance of a Bookworm. So, I couldn't deny her again. So Ascendance of a Bookworm is getting a third TV season So wow, people must really like this. I haven't watched it, but wow, three seasons in very quick succession. So there was a season last October, then there was one this prior April. So they're coming out fast and furious, and there's not much break in between. Of course, A Sentence of a Bookworm follows the life of a college student, aspiring librarian Motosu Urano, who is transported to another world, which is an isekai, of course, and she's reborn as Maine, the daughter of a poor soldier, and makes it her mission to make books freely available to everyone in the new world. And there's a lot of content for this. It has a light novel and a manga, I guess, and they're both being released by J Novel Club in English. So if you want to grab a hold of those, you'll be able to do it. So yeah, geez, I wish Dr. Stone could get 3 seasons in like 1 year, but we can't always get what we want.
Hey, this one probably doesn't cost as much as Dr. Stone does. No.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah,
and you're getting a sequel anyway. I don't want to hear you complain about nothing.
Yeah, I watched season 2. There were some parts where I felt like it was a little like dragging just a little bit, but overall, it's a very I don't know, it's an interesting story. I think the only issue I have with it is just the just kind of like the art and animation of it. It's a little boring, but overall it's pretty interesting though.
All right. So, and these next 2 were the ones that had all the hype, I guess. I think this next one's gonna make Mason happy, if I'm not mistaken. He's like, nope, no, this isn't a Mason anime. Oh, he's like, no,
I tried it. I'll talk about it after you announce it.
So, Osomatsu-san is getting a 3rd season for fall 2020. It's gonna air on TV Tokyo in October, and pretty much all the staff and studio returning at Studio Pyoto. So. In Japan, they are ape shit for Osomatsu-san. They are. Last time I was there, it was everything: stickers, food, candies. 7-Eleven had sold their soul to Osomatsu-san. It was like everywhere. Foods, ice cream. Just forget it. I don't know. They are ape shit for Osomatsu-san in Japan. So, but Mason's like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was kind of sold to me very much with like a Gintama, Nichijou, like Pop Team Epic, like fusion of comedy. And obviously, it's a readaptation of the classic Osomatsu-san from decades ago. Mm-hmm. And I did not jive with it. The humor was just, I think, a little too juvenile for me to get behind. And it looks great. It's well done, like visually, but I don't know. All the characters are just kind of jerks, and you never really wanted them to succeed. So I think I dropped it multiple times, gave it a chance, dropped it again. So I only got 8 episodes in the season 1, and I was like, I'm done with it. But I can definitely see why people dig it.
I thought it was pretty funny, so I'll watch it. Yeah, there is a lot of humor in there too that is very, very much Japanese humor. There are a lot of things in there that doesn't really translate well, but then they try to catch up with a lot of pop culture references, even Western ones as well. There's a whole episode about a Saw parody. It's really silly. I don't know. I think it's all right.
I haven't watched it at all, but I always thought it'd be hard to keep it straight when you've got 8 characters or whatever that all look the exact same. It's not.
Yeah, I think
they're brothers.
They actually do a pretty good job of letting you know which one you need to get the big components of.
Okay. There's a lot of really very, very well-known voice actors too, which is one of the reasons why it's so popular.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, and then the other property that had a lot of people talking about it, and I'm wondering why, but maybe we'll find out. There is a manga called Shakunetsu Kabaddi, which is getting made into a TV anime, which it's about a first-year high school student named Tatsuya, who is the ace of the former ace of a junior high school soccer team, who doesn't like sports anymore and receives an invitation to join the Kabaddi club. He initially doesn't think that Kabaddi would be be very fun, but he takes an interest after watching a competition, which is he thinks is similar to a martial arts practice session. So I don't know what Kabaddi is. Does anybody know?
Are you getting flashbacks to this from
Chio School Road?
So Chio School Road was a pretty funny, well-done comedy that was really cool, but it had one character who was really into Kabaddi, who was very touchy-feely and molesty, and it just kind of left a bad taste in, I think, both our mouths. So that was the worst part about that show, but because of that, I know what Kabaddi is in concept, which is I don't know, it's like a mix of like more active sumo in a sense, where you kind of have to like pin your opponent down. I'm not too sure on the rules exactly, but it's a it's a fighting show that is more you know more like judo, where it's with grappling.
The sport is interesting. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's like a team wrestling match, sort of, I guess.
Sort of.
It's tough to get it based on the pictures, but it's definitely not a sport I've seen made into anime ever before. So I don't know. I hope it's not. I hope you guys aren't turned off by it based on prior stuff. I mean, maybe it won't be like that, but anyway, the manga is done.
I doubt it.
I mean, I know nothing about this. The manga is done by Hajime Musashino. And the sports manga began in Manga 1 back in December 2015. It's going to have the 14th volume come out here pretty soon. And apparently it was among the top 20 manga in the male readers division in 2017. So at one point it was very popular, and I think done correctly. And we have a guy who looks kind of like Saitama from One Punch Man in the picture, kneeling on the bottom left.
I thought Hanzo from Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, we were all looking at him. Yeah, so I don't know. It could be really cool. Like, I mean, I'm down for a fusion of like sports and martial arts. Sort of is kind of what when I Google searched it. Kabaddi kind of looked like that. I guess it's an Indian sport, which is probably why I'm not that familiar with it. But I don't know. Could be cool. I don't know. We'll see. People seem to be talking.
If they called it Kabaddi with 8 exclamation marks, I think it'd be enough to trick people into thinking it's a sequel to Keijo.
Oh, if only. If only. Let's not get too greedy, though. We don't want to. We don't want to wish for too much.
Exactly.
All right, and that's the new hot anime releases.
Nice. I think out of all those, I'm most interested in the Kabaddi one, just because interesting sports is Kabaddi.
But I just want to make a note. Why are we getting Kabaddi prior to hockey?
They gotta save best for last, I guess.
I mean, come on, people. Like, we already discussed this. Hockey could be a fucking awesome sports anime. But okay, whatever. No one
Is
cares
hockey
apparently.
big in Japan?
No, but I don't know the Kabaddi's big either, so I don't know. I just don't know.
We'll see.
I know nothing.
And with that, we will discuss our double set of trivia. First up, from our website, which we give you a image for you to go onto our website, aapodcast.com, scroll down to the bottom, and see if you know what show it's from. If you submit your answer, you can win a fabulous prize. The answer from this past week was Fushigi Yugi, and the winner for the week was Corny Mystic.
Good job. Yeah, it was just
my picture, I asked for just the bangs from Chichiri. So I'm very surprised y'all got that. So
very impressive. And the theme remains Mandy's lesser known favorite. So if you think you're one with the manga monarch, see if you can go over there and guess it. Before we go into our news, Rick, we'll leave you with a in-show question for no points at all and see if you can guess it. And we'll give you the answer in a couple minutes. And that is, at Japanese Sports Day, what 2 team colors generally participate? And which of these colors was the winner in Kaguya-Sama Season 2? Stay tuned.
Mitsugi's here, and it's time for your anime news break. Starting us off with a couple marriages in the anime industry. Voice actress and singer Nana Mizuki is getting married. So she announced this on her blog. She said that she's marrying someone that she worked alongside in the music industry and that she's excited to continue her career. Of course, Nana Mizuki debuted her voice acting career in 1998 as Chisato Kadokura in Noelle La Neige and has worked on some pretty big roles, including Hinata from Naruto, Fate Testarossa from Lyrical Nanoha, and other roles, and has done just a ton of voice work and singing throughout her career. So good on Nana Mizuki for tying the knot. Next up, the voice actresses and actors Kana Hanazawa and Kensha Ono are getting married. So that's a pretty big one, Kana Hanazawa being a really big name in the industry. Hanazawa, the Kensha said of Hanazawa that she has an honest attitude and always cheerful and makes him happy when they work together, and that she possesses a lot of qualities that he doesn't, and someone that he respects. So pretty nice sentiments. Hanazawa began her career with Last Exile and has just done a ton of work throughout the years, including the Monogatari series, Angel Beats, Durarara, Steins Gate, and tons of stuff. Ono began his career with the Animatrix and has done other work, including Giorno, Giovanna, and Part 5 of Golden Wind, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Kuroko no Basket, and others. So big names there. Next up, some other interesting news. The creator of Ahiru no Sora, Takeshi Hinata, goes on Twitter and rips the animation studio that is working on his own work, which is always interesting, citing, quote, saying, you are, quote, the worst to the anime studio. Quote, if you're going to run away, then don't do it in the first place, including a screen cap of like a glinty little eye thing that they have done in Kuroko no Basket an awful lot when characters are, showing like where their eyes trail through the screen. And yeah, just not happy at all with Dio Medea and their work, and talking about how people have been sending him criticism for a long while now about how the anime is being adapted. So next up and lastly, some positive news. HBO Max is adding some pretty big name titles to their lineup, including Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, Food Wars, and Tower of God. So just a pretty large list of well-known titles there. The anime from Crunchyroll that debuted as launch titles on the service include Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Re:Zero, Rurouni Kenshin, Konosuba, Berserk, Cabinetti of the Iron Fortress, Kill la Kill, Your Lie in April, Erased, just a ton of stuff. If you have HBO Max, there's a lot of anime on there you can watch now, so enjoy that. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break, and now, as we always do, it's time to get back to the podcast. Hey, Anime Addicts, JList and JBox.com. Great place to buy all sorts of stuff, but they also have anime magazines and study materials, and they have all new magazines, particularly available for August 2020 from JBox. Magazine types include the famous New Type magazine of August 2020, so you can keep up to date with all the anime happenings. Dengeki Moyo, also to August 2020. Megami or Goddess magazine, very popular, coming out August again, and Comptic magazine from August 2020. And if you're a fan of anime, games, technology, etc., you want to check these magazines out because they will keep you on the cutting edge of what is happening in the anime and game world straight from Japan. And of course, for those of you that are interested in studying Japanese, well, JList and JBox have a ton of study materials available for you to pick from, including just close to a dozen, I would say, hiragana drilling workbooks. You got to learn your hiragana if you want to be able to read anything. So get your hiragana drilling workbooks, kanji learning workbooks of all levels, including drilling exercises for you to learn your kanji. And of course, new editions of the epically famous Genki grammar textbook, which I have also bought and studied from for many, many times. So if you're interested in keeping up with the magazines from Japan or learning some Japanese, JList or JBox.com are certainly your source.
Hey, this is Miley Flanagan, the voice of Naruto Uzumaki, and I am an anime addict. Use your Rasengan!
All right, guys. In-show trivia at Sports Day. What two team colors generally participate? And which of these colors was the winner in Kaguya-Sama Season 2? It's, to my knowledge, always red and white. Team's red and white. And in the series, the red team wins. So, good for you if you knew that. And I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sit here right now and see that there's a thing about when you hike to the top of the planet and you burn 6,000 calories, and the next day you just sit here and you just eat peanut butter right out of a jar. You know, it's just like just peanut butter. And can we be honest? Is there anything better than peanut butter? But before I do that, I'm going to have to announce Mandy's Manga Minute, because I'm going to be like a German Shepherd trying to chomp down on some peanut butter here. And I'm going to be like, oh, and then nobody wants to hear that. So I'm going to take advantage of Mandy while she's doing her Manga Minute. Are you ready?
I am.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandi.
This is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and help you find something new to read. And this one is called Spy Family. I'm super excited about this one. So, the master spy, codenamed Twilight, has spent his days on undercover missions, all for the dream of a better world. But one day, he receives a particularly difficult new order from command. For his mission, he must form a temporary family and start a new life. Spy Family is a new action comedy manga from Shonen Jump, and the series is written and illustrated by Tatsuya Endo. There is currently only one volume currently available in English, both digitally and in print. You can also read it on the Shonen Jump app. And the series is still publishing, with 4 volumes currently available in Japanese. So we have more coming, and you can also pre-order those for English releases. Spy Family, or Spy X Family, if you want to go the Hunter X Hunter route, is the kind of comedy series that I easily fall for. It does a great job of mixing spy action with very heartwarming family moments. And it's set in some kind of Cold War European past, and Twilight's new mission requires him to form a fake family. And the child and wife that he picks out are not exactly what he was expecting. Anya, the orphan child he adopts, is a psychic who can read minds. And Yor, a woman who was also looking for a fake husband at the time, is an assassin. And being an elite spy, Twilight knows that he should never develop real bonds with people. But his walls start to break down as he realizes that these two mean a lot more to him than he was expecting, and even puts his mission in jeopardy to protect them. And the art is also clean, and Anya's reaction faces in this are so great. They're so cute and over the top. So it's filled with silly spy action, comedy, and endearing family and an endearing family subplot. So I highly recommend this one. I may have pre-ordered volume 2 already, and it doesn't even come out until September. But I'm also looking forward to when they make an anime adaptation of this, because they will.
They definitely will.
Yeah.
Mandy, aren't you forgetting something?
What's that?
A certain large, fluffy woofer, perhaps.
He's not in volume 1.
Oh.
No woofer in volume 1. Volume 4 is where he shows up on the cover.
No wag.
I only want volume 4 because it's just this beautiful beastie boy in big poofy chairs
with a bow tie.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, this is definitely going to be an anime.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here watching Kabaddi, and I don't understand anything that's happening. It's just a bunch of dudes pile driving another dude over and over. It just looks like Goldberg from WCW Wrestling just spearing people over and over again. Or maybe he was in WWF. I don't know. I don't understand.
I think it was WWFE.
Whatever it was, I don't understand it. Just people getting speared over and over again. But this guy's hurt. All right. Well, much like a bunch of people ganging up on one guy, which is not real fair.
Time for my anime arguments?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to gang up on this anime argument segment. Are you ready, Mason?
I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
And before we get into this tag team match with Mandy for this Hunter x Hunter edition of anime arguments, I just want to point out, we're all friends here. We're all having fun. Like, these anime arguments, they're supposed to be a little tongue in cheek. We're going to be passionate about them, but not angry. We're all here for a good time. Just because I disagree or agree with you we're just having a good time. We're just having a laugh. So keep that in mind moving forward.
In other words, chill thy nips.
Yeah.
Chill thy nips. That's all there is.
So this is the segment where people give us their hot takes, unpopular opinions, or questions they just want us to address, and we give it our best shot. So the first one comes from Cream Puff, and they say, Hunter x Hunter would make an excellent live action adaptation. And I don't know about this one, Chief. I think manga, really good format for the show. I think anime, really good format for the show. I think a live action version of this would not be in any way superior to what we've already gotten, and would make a lot of the moments and characters just not come off that well. And I think some of the powers would look wonky. I can't see it being done well to any degree that would justify it when we already have such a good anime.
I agree, but I'm just gonna say, I agree with you.
I agree, but period.
But,
end of statement. But
before the 2011 adaptation came out, they did do a live action stage play, and the voice actor for the 1999 Hisoka played himself in it, and he did such a good job. That guy was so into his role.
Did they just do an arc or like a specific? They adapted?
The only thing they did was the rescue Killua, like the Zodic arc. And that's all they did. But they changed things around so they could get more characters in there. Because like Illumi and Hisoka aren't in that arc in the anime and manga, but they put them in that arc just for the stage play, and it was really funny. He was cracking me up. He was so into his role.
As you would hope. I bet he has a blast with it. But
yeah,
I just don't think, I just wouldn't jive with it. But I guess it's an idea. Next one comes from Mochi Mochi, and they say Nen battles are just stand battles without the cool music references. And then they say see Hisoka versus Castro for more details. And I think that was like the fight in the stadium, like episodes 31 or 32. I think Nen battles are close to, and when we say stand, it's obviously stand battles from JoJo. I think the Nen battles are closer to like part 3 JoJo battles, or even like part 2 where they have the Harmon. Like I don't think it's like later stage JoJo battles. I don't know. I think there's enough differences between them. There's definitely more of like a tier system and like guidelines, like a rule book to how Nen works. I feel like stands are more like whatever Araki is coming up with is coming into play. It's more like random. So I feel like if you're like, what's a better system? I think Nen kind of has that going for it, because you can kind of see how the systematics are put together. And I think the other difference is, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mandy, but anyone can use Nen. Like everyone has like some power to use it, and it's just what path they go down and how much training. Whereas stands are just like, you either got it or you don't, or you're filled with enough rage that you have it.
For the most part, like anybody has the ability to learn Nen, but for the most part, it's kept secret in the hunter, in like the hunter society, because they don't want that to get out because of people like the Phantom Troop who can do great evil with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Nen is a little more like, you see similar powers in other shonen. Like I feel like it's more typical of that stereotype, where stands are just, they feel more personal. And yes, they do have the musical references that I like, but I think there's enough differences between them. But if I had to choose what I have, I would probably pick a stand, because it's more unique, unless you had one of the stands that are terrible and bad for you, which there are quite a few of, but I'm willing to take that risk.
I've joked about this before. I definitely made this joke because there are definitely times you can see that Togashi has been inspired by JoJo. But everything I'm going to mention is before the Succession arc, which is the current arc in the manga, because there are definitely things that happen later in the manga past the anime, and I'm like, ooh, these feel a bit more like your standard stand battles. But if we talk about everything from the anime, I think is Nen exactly like stands? I disagree, because they have some similarities. And that being the core one, which is that they're both a manifestation of a person's life energy to accomplish crazy things. And they both have like their own different types in their different categories. And I guess if you want to talk about just the way the battles play out and kind of like the aha, I gotcha moments where a winner isn't always determined by raw power, then yeah, I would agree with that too. But I think the biggest difference that Mason also touched on is that stands have a very loose set of rules. They do have some rules to them, but it's very common for stands to become so insanely powerful with minimal effort that Araki's like, I gotta write out this entire character because to make things fair again. Nen, on the other hand, is all about rules and limitations, and the Nen's power system is extremely versatile, but all the rules put into place help to balance things out. He specifically mentions Hisoka versus Castro, and I think that's a good example of how someone lost their life because they did not understand the rules of Nen, and Hisoka took advantage of that. And Nen powers can be extremely powerful, like stands, but it takes a great cost to do so. Like, Nen powers are never just powerful because a person just naturally gets it or it's just naturally strong. They have to be willing to sacrifice a lot in order to obtain like a stronger ability. Like for Crollo and Kurapika are really good examples of that. Kurapika is literally self-destructing in order to achieve this, and he can't even show up in any arcs where the Phantom Troop isn't in it because he has one specific particular goal and is on the path to destruction in order to obtain it. And so that's how he's able to get powerful in such a short amount of time. He's literally killing himself in order to achieve this. And that's the kind of sacrifice you have to make in order to get powerful. Stands, people just get powerful just for fucking no reason.
But they're really cool.
But for me personally, if I had to pick, I would choose Nen because they are very personal and they all reflect that person's personality, and like even all the Nen categories are all revolve around how that person grew up and how like the Nen category you naturally fall into is all dependent on your personality. And it's really cool to pick apart all the different Nen abilities people have, like Hisoka, for example, and how it relates to their personality, how he's like able to get so close to people but also quickly push them away. It's really cool. And both the series have like that kind of where the winner is determined by who can outsmart the opponent. But Togashi's tied down by rules, where Araki's like, I don't have rules. I do whatever I want.
Yeah, Nen is so personal. Like, just like Hisoka, like I just want to step all over him, but he follows me around and gets stuck to my shoe.
I want him to step on me.
That was a bungee gum joke.
Of course.
Mine was a bungee something joke. What?
The dad. What do we got going on today?
Is this me? Oh, it is me. So yeah, we try to do these every once in a while where we just bring our own topics. Normally, I try to do them around what's going on in the news. I kind of struggled this time because there wasn't much news going on because of COVID, unfortunately. Every other topic in the news is COVID. So I was like, this kind of sucks. Much. So we kind of just made up some stuff for our own little topics, and I don't know. Who would like to start?
I'm going to go first.
Lay it on us.
I think it's the shortest. So I said, we haven't done anything like this in a while, but if you could have one anime adapted into a video game, well, what is it? And what platform would it be on? And what genre? And with a short description. So I'll go first because that way you guys can get a good example here from my own brain. So I'm just like gearing up for Dr. Stone big time. Season 2 coming pretty soon. So I titled it Dr. Stone from the Stone Age. And I was kind of thinking like an RPG simulator type game, almost like a hybrid of a normal RPG and maybe like a Civilization type game what I wrote was you're going to rebuild society from the ground up using science, of course. And you have to unlock various types of new technologies as you go. You'll have mini games to craft items and to enhance the morale of the townspeople or create weapons. Like the one guy in the show loves soda. So, or like you can make the townspeople ramen or some shit, make them all, really happy. You'll build a town, develop defense to fend off Tsukasa or other threats, prepare for seasonal weather, cure diseases, explore the world, and expand to new areas, forage in dungeons and forests for food and resources, and, of course, you'll cure the stone disease somewhere along the way. So it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, crafty, rebuild society sort of like RPG game. So, which of course is probably not what they would do, because it seems like every other anime that's made into a game is always like a fighting game. I don't know why. Like, it's very uncreative. Maybe, I don't know, but so that's what I would go. So that's the first thing that popped into my head, because I just love RPGs. So, I mean, I love like dungeon crawling. So, would you guys play that?
Yeah, I try it.
I think it'd be cool to like use that to like craft your like own gear and equipment. Like, you start off with like the most basic of like twigs and sticks, and then you forge like swords, and then like better and better weaponry. I think that's always like a rewarding mechanic.
I love it. And of course, we just put it on every platform. Like why limit people? Just put it on everything. Because why not?
When I was thinking of mine, my first thought was Vinland Saga, but I was like, no, if they did a Vinland Saga game, it would just literally just be another Dynasty Warriors game. That would be it. But I would play the whole game as Thorkel and just throw literal like armies around. It would be amazing.
It's like
Dynasty
Warriors.
Spin to win.
I would still buy it just to play as Thorkel the entire way. No, my mine, I'm actually surprised it hasn't been done. I want a Legend of the Galactic Heroes 4X turn-based strategy game. That would be amazing. Where you can either choose to be, if you want to play the game as like the Free Planets Alliance or the Galactic Empire. And just be a big 4X strategy game where you, like, if you go down like what the 4 X's stand for, exploration would be like the space and spending, explore space by sending out scouts to uncover territories in the map, and then expand by invading the enemy's territory, exploit resources and making sure you have the funds to pay for your ships and your forces, but also keep your people happy so that they don't revolt, and then exterminate the enemy faction and unite all of humanity. And I think that'd be cool.
And who would you play as?
Yang Wen Li, of course.
Sigh.
That's the love of my life. We would have to play it on stream, where I play as Yang and Mason plays as Reinhard.
I know with more confidence than anything else have confidence in life is that I would absolutely get demolished in a strategy game by Mandi.
That's pretty funny.
I would just have to rush all offensive and hope it works on the first wave, and if not, I would just give up.
You're gonna like Zerg rush. Here it comes.
Exactly. That's the only weapon I've got.
Deploying tactical meteor belt.
Just a glass cannon my way to victory. That's all I've got going. I mean, it worked when we did the stream of what was that, like Junji Ito-esque game?
Oh yeah, that was oh shoot, why did my brain just die?
Oh my goodness, where I just made every wrong decision. I just went for every like risky play, and it worked out, and we beat the game because I am the luckiest boy alive.
Why can I not remember it? World of Horror.
That was so good.
My lovely girlfriend just showed up, and what did she bring me? A Gatorade Zero. Right here, because I'm dying inside. And of course, who could make it through a podcast without? Oh, much to Mason's disappointment, a pink Monster Energy.
So we have a pink Monster. We have a full-size Gatorade Zero, 2 of them, and we have the gallon of water, all of which is being consumed by the Fluid Master.
I will still drink your gallon of water, Mason, just for you.
You're gonna have to pee a lot.
Yeah, I will pee a lot, but you know what? It'll be okay.
Is that what was really in that jug you were chugging? Are you just recycling?
Pee?
Once he empties it, it's just a perfect receptacle.
Like, this red pee, like yes, I took many punches in the kidneys yesterday from a mountain lion, and I peed blood all night just for this podcast.
It does look like dehydrated pee.
Well, to me it looks pink, but on camera it looks kind of red.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, but I appreciate that, because we got some good comedy out of that, so that's good.
Exactly, always.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick a game, as someone who just finished Horizon Zero Dawn and could go for some more like that, let's get just an action adaptation of either Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit, or
Oh,
the
hell
12
yeah.
Kingdoms.
Hell
Just
yeah.
either of those two, get those protagonists just going around the country, just whooping on all sorts of like fantastical beasts and creatures. I think I could jive with that. The other idea I had was like Tekken Concrete, that movie. If that was like a really like weird like fighting game, almost like Yakuza-esque, that could be aesthetically really cool. But I think I'm gonna go with Horizon Zero Dawn Moribito edition. That would be super cool, just on the PS4 because
Ooh.
we need to have some exclusivity. Yeah, and you just go around whooping.
Just whooping.
I did not see this topic until we just started it, so that was
It was my fault. I got it on there late, but I received corroboration today that Horizon Zero Dawn is an easy platinum trophy, and I am
Yes,
like,
it is.
and I am like so amped. I'm gonna go straight from my hospital game if I ever finish it, straight to Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm gonna get that platinum trophy, and I don't know, it's just gonna be a lot of fun. And then the sequel will come out, and oh, this monster is so good. Oh, the flavor is indescribable. I don't know what flavor this is. Okay, well that was fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, I would play both of your games.
Oh,
Of
thank you.
course, absolutely.
I would definitely play my game. I'm surprised. I think
hope
that
so.
I think some games do have Legends of the Galactic Heroes mods that people have made for them. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there are definitely some what is the game franchise that I'm trying to think of?
What style of game?
Warhammer. Yeah,
Oh, that's
my
not-
brain died again.
Does your Legend of the Galactic Heroes game have like secret hidden cutscenes where like you get to have like Brandy with Yang Wenli and stuff like that?
Heck yes.
Oh yeah, we're getting Mass Effect relationships in this game.
Yeah. Does it like? Can you like? Does it go places?
Can I
You know what I mean?
date Yang Wenli?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm
Is it
getting
also
at.
Dating sim?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
might
yeah.
as well be.
Get
To
the
keep me
DLC.
interested.
Get the DLC called the Beret Edition, where everyone only wears a beret and nothing else.
So like, it's like, whether or not you get to see the juicy stuff happen or not, the next morning it'll start turn into like a character creation screen where you'll get to help Yang Li dress his best for work, and you can like pick out his outfit and his like hat and stuff.
In
Oh my
reality, you're
goodness.
just there to make sure he wakes up.
You wake up hungover, and
Right.
all across the floor is just a bunch of bloody axes. You're like, "What happened last night?" Oh
The
lord!
game has to have space battle axes. It has
course.
to.
Non-negotiable.
You have to have some melee troops in there who jump ship and fight with space battle axes and knives. Total War was a series I was thinking of.
Gotcha.
I feel like there are definitely some Total War series that have Legend mods to them.
I believe it.
All right. So what else?
Mandy, you want to do your
yeah.
topic next?
Sure. I feel really bad because man, I was struggling so hard. I was thinking about this like yesterday, and then today I was like, I cannot think of anything to do because there was no news to cover. So I was just like looking back at the past decade. What are some of the things you guys feel like you've learned from anime, if you can think of anything? Because I think for me, I've been watching anime since 95. I mean, I was pretty young, but I always felt like it was just like a minor hobby of mine up until probably about like a decade ago. That's where it really took off, and I really started getting more into anime and not just watching it at like a casual dub level. But yeah, so I don't know. I was thinking about some things that I've learned from watching anime in the past decade, which is the first thing I wrote down was that I feel like I've learned a whole lot more about the animation process and how the industry works. Because before, like 10 years ago, I don't think I knew any studios at all. And now I don't even think I even really cared about studios until I started working on the podcast, where I was like, now I kind of have to do research on them. And I feel like I've learned a lot more about just studios and different kind of artists, directors, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like thinking about all the stuff that I've learned over the years. What are some things you guys learned?
I can go first if you want some more time.
You know what?
I've got more,
I'm
too.
just chomping at the bit to hear what Macy's got to say.
I thought we would just take turns.
Gotcha. I don't know. I mean, as someone who's really only been watching a decade, essentially, I feel like what Mandy said about learning about, the production and everything, that's just the nature of a lot of that information not being just told to us before. I feel like it's about a lot of things growing and just the internet giving us the opportunity to learn like that. But probably, like, personally, what I've learned most almost about myself is discovering Tomihiko Morimi's works. He's the guy who did Night is Short, Walk On Girl, Tatami Galaxy, The Eccentric Family, and Penguin Highway. And I think a lot of his way of thinking, a lot of how he describes things, a lot of how his characters just see themselves in the world around them really resonated with me. And maybe it's just because I haven't seen a ton of just foreign media, but just having someone on the complete opposite side of the world who can just so succinctly and adequately like kind of explain and get into my own head almost better than I could was kind of a revelation of like how connected all of humankind is. And I know it sounds like corny talking about anime like that, but I don't know, I felt like the breadth of understanding that we have to communicate to one another through animated works like this is far greater than what I think a lot of just, oh, it's a kid's show cartoon gives it credit for. And I think coming to that realization really made me seek further into anime and looking almost for myself in these works. So I think I learned a lot about, the connectivity of the world and just my place within it. So that's probably what I'm like most grateful for.
Yeah, around that same ballpark. I was also thinking about just individual shows that really stood out to me that I feel like I learned something from them. And I think one of them was A Place Further in the Universe. And it was really interesting because I feel like I can give that one credit for me caring about my health again, because I went through a really rough time prior to that. And shortly after finishing that series that I made like a doctor's appointment and started getting really into fixing my health issues. And I think there's just something about those characters' journey and trying to make the impossible possible, that in like their refusal to give up, that really gave me the kickstart that I needed. It felt, I don't know, I really think that it's part of the reason why I started to get back into going to doctor's appointments and medication and stuff, because before that it was exhausting. I didn't want to do it anymore, and that was bad. Don't follow my lead ever. But yeah, I think that one really helped give me the encouragement I needed.
Dang, nice. Mitz?
Yeah, goodness, I don't even know where to start with this. Like, this is an hour conversation. Starting with like just Japanese in general, I mean, if I didn't have anime in my life, I wouldn't know any Japanese. I never would have had a tutor.
Same. I also put that down.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I never would have cared for a minute. I wouldn't know anything about Japan. I would never have lived there. I would never have had a tutor. So there's just there's the start, right? I wouldn't know anything about animation, the animation process. There's just so many things. I mean, this podcast, like if anime didn't exist, like I wouldn't have this podcast. Like I wouldn't know you guys. I wouldn't know everybody else on the podcast. I wouldn't have a bunch of friends that I have right now. I wouldn't know Kazuo as a great friend. I wouldn't have met my current girlfriend. I don't know. It's like the anime has given me so many things, both just from watching it and also like through this podcast, that I don't even know, like my life would be completely different, like completely different. I have no doubt in my mind at all. And then it's like, without anime, would I still have kept up with video games? Like, I don't know, so it's just, I don't know. I guess more than anything, I'm really thankful for all the things anime gave me. Like, but aside from just all the things that I learned, like, it's like, oh, you did a podcast. Well, okay, I learned how to edit audio. I learned how to fuss with websites. I learned how to, just do all this shit, all this technical crap that like I would never have even most likely cared about. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like just the giant chunk of my life is either stems from some kind of anime. So
yeah,
I mean, it's just all positive things, by the way. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, video games, I don't think even come close to comparing. Like, video games are just as fun for me as anime. I love them. I play video games every night before I go to sleep. But I think that if you were to measure up like the things that were given to me, so to speak, by anime and video games, anime is head and shoulders just far beyond video games. Video games are just high quality entertainment without a doubt. But anime has given me a lot more in different ways. So very thankful. So I can't.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Mandy's
That's a good
over here
answer.
like, what have I learned in the past decade? Well, I would have had a lot more shelf space and a lot more money if it wasn't for
Oh
this drastic
man,
anime.
I probably have a house, and you never know what kind of stuff I would have. No, I'd probably just have more video games.
Mandy,
Yeah,
if you ever need to buy a house, just piecemeal out and sell your magic cards. I've thought about that.
Oh my gosh,
That shit just gets more and more valuable. I mean, it is ridiculous. So
I have some really crazy cards.
Yeah, I bet you have like an entire like I don't know, like a down payment on a condo or something where the magic cards laying around.
I have
It's
no
wild.
idea. I would be scared to find out, honestly.
No joke, true story. I went to the beach yesterday with some friends, and they hadn't gone to the beach for a while, and there was a bunch of people on jet skis, like out boating around. And one guy was like, "I'm really digging the jet ski. I should probably get a jet ski." And the dude's like, "If you just sold one deck, you could
Of
get that
magic
no
cards.
problem." Yeah, but like just magic cards alone, just one deck would easily get a jet ski. And he's like, "I don't know if I can do it."
It's
like
hard when you think about how much time and like you put into building that deck and everything you've gone through together.
for me, it's more like the amount of time it would take you to like take them all out, photograph them, research their value, put them online. Like holy shit, you're talking like 50 hours of work probably. But hey, if you want that jet ski, or like for me out here in Colorado, maybe like a snowmobile. I don't know. Whatever. That's kind of the same type of thing. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I feel like I've learned a lot of other things too. I have so much to be thankful for Natsume Eugene Cho, and I've discovered that in the past decade. And man, that series has just brought me out of so many dark moments, and I love watching Natsume's journey. And I love that series so much, and I'm very very thankful for that. And I also feel like I just learned a whole lot about like it. And anime gave me the desire to learn more about just a different culture. Like I've learned so much about Japanese mythology, so much about their history that I didn't learn it through anime, but it gave me the inspiration to go, or the drive to go and look at that knowledge and like seek it out. And and different kind of art forms. I think Rakugo Shinjo is the reason why I bought a shamisen.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot to be thankful for anime, and now, past decade, I've learned to give Shonen Jump series more of a try, and some of them are my favorites now. So
Because you've only tried the good ones.
yeah, no one has to know that. Naruto's coming. It's coming.
Oh boy.
Believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Believe it.
I gotta have a drop for that in here, don't I? Somewhere? Believe
You
it. Where
do
is-
somewhere.
Oh
It's
my god.
Is
Where
it Chiaki? I think it's Chiaki.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
It's impressions. Impressions time. Believe it.
I probably
I-
yeah.
I prefer my half-hearted tinge of sadness. Believe it. I think that's a much better.
Believe it.
The number of
Holy
times I've wanted to have the drop of what's that actor's name that's in all the Transformers movies, where he's like, just do it. The number of times Shia LaBeouf. The number of times I've wanted to have a drop. I have it somewhere, but I just need to find it because I want to use that all the fucking time. Like join the Discord. Just do it. I could use it every episode.
If only you had that drop to motivate you to make the drop. Like if only that paradox.
Oh
didn't exist.
Jesus. That's oh boy. Moving on from there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Man, a lot of good stuff in the past decade. So many good shows just in general. Anyway, my topic, which is the lazy pull out the back card. Oh, what would Kazuo do card showed up. It's make a list. So I went with the top shows to vicariously experience summer while you're stuck inside because of everything that's going on. So I made a list of a bunch of shows, and Mandy and Mitz chipped in with, just what shows kind of give you that summer feel, that summer vibe, just you saw in the summer and you associate with it. Whatever about these shows screams summer to you and why. So I don't know if we want to just zip through and just go one at a time, but my list starts off with Barakamon, which is the easy pick.
I know, I'm so sad. You made the list, but
I made the list, and then
first one.
I took all the good ones first.
Yeah.
And I want to say, if you've never heard of these shows, I will say I picked ones, all of which the OPs reflect the tone. So if you go to YouTube and just search up like this show opening and listen to it, if that like appeals to you, watch the show. But Barakamon to me is the essential summer anime. Half because like I watched it during the summer, and the band that does the opening, Super Beaver, like I would go on to listen to their music throughout the summer. So like it just has that vibe, and it's about this main character who's kind of gloomy, he's selfish, he dwells indoors, he's a calligrapher, and he's forced out of first his place in the city to the like isolated countryside, and then from there he's forced out of his like little hut to the great outdoors, and it takes place on Goto Islands, which is like far, far, far west Japan, as far as you can go, in like the dead of summer. And the show is just filled with so much life from these villagers that take him around and show him like the ways of the island, what it means to have fun, and what it means to have mandom. And the show just has good vibes and charm, and I just look upon it so fondly. And there's some great characters, and it's not what's the other one that I was about to confuse with it? It's not Bakuman.
Poco's?
It's not Bakuman, it's Barakamon.
Oh.
Yes. They sound similar, but you're also right with Poco's Udon World. But yeah, Barakamon is just the summer anime, and I recommend checking it
out. My first one was Mason kind of has on his list, but I'm not letting him have it because.
Okay, I'll take it out.
It's free. It's the easiest one for me because on my list I start thinking, okay, well, what are some shows that mostly take place outside during like I don't know if they all take place in just summer. Some of them I know they don't, but have a good amount of scenes that are outside during sunny weather, or maybe have scenes that revolve around like a matsuri, because that's another thing that takes place, summer season in Japan. So I chose free because what do you want to do in the middle of hot summer? You just want to go swimming. So KyoAni swimming show, swimming boys. I mean, that's what I would want to do inside. It's watch boys swim.
That's what you got.
I'm just gonna run through because my list isn't very long. I'm just gonna run through all these real quick because I don't think we're gonna have time to do them all one at a time necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll run through mine, and you go through all yours, then go to the bathroom because I know you're dying to go, and we'll be done by the time you get back.
I will drink this whole gallon of water and this Monster, I promise. Of course, Monster being a diuretic, that's really working well with the 3/4 of a gallon of water I've now consumed. Keijo, of course, because it's just sexy naked girls, and when you think summer, you think the beach. When you think the beach, you think swimsuits, and maybe you're thinking about bikinis. I don't know, but there's definitely plenty of those in Keijo. So and Keijo is just pretty fun. I mean, it's fun. Way better than it probably had any business being, to be honest. Then I was like, what anime actually take place in the summer? And then I was thinking, oh, wow, the number one anime that'll make you cry maybe is Air, the old KyoAni show. Literally is set in, like, quote, the 1000th summer. So and they talk about how damn hot it is all the time in that anime. So not quite as fun as Keijo, totally different type of show, but, definitely takes place in the summer. And then I always think, like, oh, summertime is when you, like, maybe it's outdoors stuff, whatever, that you're normally doing. And it's like, oh, what do you do outside? So I'm thinking like, oh, sports, like summer sports camps or whatever. And so I'm like, this sports anime in general. And some of the best ones I think are, because not all sports animes like makes me think of the summer, but like Big Wind Up does. Oh, big time. They're all outside, it's hot, and they're practicing. So like Big Wind Up, Major, the old soccer anime Whistle, Captain Tsubasa, like all of those really just strike me as like being a sports type thing, because it's like you're not going to be outside right now necessarily, the way things are, and so like you might as well watch anime about people doing things outside.
I had Cross Game on my list, which fits nicely into your sports anime theme.
I almost put down Big Wind Up.
yeah, these are all great. Yeah, and Big Wind Up's so short. And pretty actually big. I could actually go for another season of Big Wind Up. I won't lie. So Azumanga
It's a
Daioh.
cute show. I really liked it.
It's so cute, and they don't really accomplish much. Like as far as
Yeah.
it's like the second season was like all one game. Like I was
Yeah,
down.
it is. It's mostly about just teamwork and creating a very strong bond of friendship between all the members. It's really cute. I really liked it.
Big Windup gives you a lot of insight into like some of the deeper philosophy of baseball, like trying to the pitcher and the bat and the catcher trying to kind of figure out the batter. And anyway, it's good. Azumanga Daioh, like a lot of that takes place in the summer. There's several episodes of going to the beach, Miss Yukari's psychotic driving, hot weather. So and it's just fun. Like Azumanga Daioh it's just a ton of fun. And it's kind of like Kaguya-Sama in a lot of ways, like in the way that it's chopped into short little skits. So people who like Kaguya-Sama might like Azumanga. They are similar, and they're both really like high quality comedy. Full Metal Panic Fumafu I think takes place largely in the summertime, for sure. And there's a lot of like just sweaty outdoor stuff going on in Full Metal Panic. And then lastly, Honey and Clover I think takes place like I haven't seen Honey and Clover in a decade, but I think takes place pretty much like during college and then maybe right after college. And you know what that is? That's the summertime. So, and that's just a high quality show too that people should watch.
I like how you're like, oh, Fumofu, it's full of sweaty outdoor stuff.
It is.
And our listeners are like, that's exactly why I don't go outside. I'll go through half my list and then we'll switch and each do a half at a time. So my next one was Suritama, which is another show on an island.
Another one that I would have put down.
Another one. And this show's not so much summer, and it does take place in summer, but like there's a lot of seaside activities in the show, and the color palette of the show is like bright and vibrant, and it just has like this upbeat summer vibe to it. And it's about this guy who goes to an island, he relocates there, and he's greeted by I don't know, aliens, ducks, like just weird kids, fishermen, foreigners, just every weirdo under the sun comes and they all hang out and they have a good summer time. There's no mochi wielding grannies like in Barakamon, but it's still pretty good. Another island show, the ultimate island show, I might say, is One Piece, which is the ultimate adventure from one tropical location to another. I know they're not always tropical, but it's about being with your boys on a grand summer trip, like boating with the sun beating down on you. It's like the perfect escapism show when you're trapped inside, and the tone is mostly light and goofy, and it's a fun time. Speaking of not light and goofy is Anohana, which is a Noitamina show, as was Suritama, and that takes place over one summer, and it's about a group of friends trying to deal with an ordeal of a other friend who's got a wish that she needs to kind of accomplish before the summer's over, let's just say. And that one, it's a little more feelsy, but it's a good summer romp and cross game, like I mentioned earlier. So, Mandi, what about your first half of the list?
Oh, okay. My next one was Silver Spoon, which is about a guy who starts going to an agricultural school and working on a farm, and most of it takes place outside, which is another thing that I was just thinking. I was just thinking of shows that, the vast majority of it is taking place outside, and this one is more like a working anime, but it does take place in like really sunny weather, and a lot of it outside. Natsume Yujincho is another, I think, a good one for summer. Again, vast majority of it is outside, and there's also really pretty scenery, and a lot of it takes place in nature. And I think also most of it takes place in summer. There is like a whole, I think season 2, a lot of it takes place in winter, but the vast majority of the episodes take place in summer. Flying Witch is, I think, another good one for a summer watch. Again, most of it's outside. There's some scenes with Matsuris and bright sunny weather. I also had Run with the Wind because, I mean, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, but you don't really want to do in summer? Run. And so if you're like, man, it's too hot outside for me to go running, watch boys run.
It's my heart racing.
Yeah. Did you want me to do another one, or did you want to finish yours?
I'll finish mine. I had Kino's Journey on the list. It doesn't really feel so summery because it's a little more like solemn and like reflective. But the show's about like freedom and traveling, and because I can't do that right now, that would really scratch that itch. Amanchu, because I can't talk about tree. It's a show about diving, and it's very relaxing. I think it's done by the same person who did Arya, like the same mangaka. So it's a really relaxing show, really nice and swimmy, unlike Grand Blue, the diving one, which is a little more.
That's a good one. I didn't think of it. That's a good one, though.
I
Very
thought about
good.
it, but I don't want to say it. Denokoi, I don't know why. Something about like this augmented reality, like future technology with kids like roaming the world. Like it felt like a weird, like lawless summer vacation. And I don't know, it's unique. It's like a modern day Serial Experiments Lane, but less dark. It's pretty interesting.
I love Deno Coil. What a unique show that is. And it looks
so well done.
It looks so good, and it's so fun. And I don't know, there aren't very many shows like it. I don't know. I love Deno Coil. We watched that in Anime Club back in college, and it's never disappointing.
I think it took like a decade for them to like develop the show with like all the different like techniques they use to like literally augment the augmented reality into the show. Like it's just a neat concept. It's well done.
Very.
Euro Camp, obviously it's about traveling and camping, and it's outdoors and it's adorable. And finally, I almost said Samurai Champloo. It's also about traveling. It's got sunflowers, and it's just a fun show, which is how summer should be. So check out some of those.
Samurai Shampoo is my favorite anime.
Samurai Champloo.
To finish up mine, I had Sakura Quest, which takes place in a very rural town in not in Tokyo. It's in what was the name of the town?
It's like a compilation of a couple made.
It's in Monoyama.
Yeah, that sounds close enough.
It takes place in a very rural town in Japan, and again, vast majority of it takes place outside. And I think there's also a big festival, episode 2. So I don't know. I thought that one, may give you some summer feels. Kimi Toboku, which is one about like 5 high school friends, and the whole series is about just like the season 1 and 2 is about them becoming best friends in high school, and then towards the end it's about them preparing to separate for college, and getting prepared for whether or not they're even going to be able to stay friends anymore. But again, a vast majority of it takes place outside. Lots of cats too, and there are also some just. I'm trying to think. I know there's a lot of really sunny. I think most of it takes place in summer. I can't remember if there was a Matsuri scene in that one or not. I can't remember if there's a festival.
There's probably an 80% chance in any anime there's a Matsuri scene, so your odds are good.
I also put down Azumanga Daioh, Mitsugi covered. Pokemon. Pokemon's a great one. It's just about traveling out in the sun with your best friend Pikachu. And I mean, Pokemon Go took over the world where everybody wanted to go outside and travel. But now since we can't do that, now just watch Pokemon. My last one is Summer Wars, because lol, summer's in the name.
Yeah, it's about a kid who just goes to game. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Just games inside.
But summer's in the name, so ha.
I find it funny when people use the word lol in language. Like I just think I like lol. I'm like lol. That's lol.
I don't do it often, but
I don't do it often, but when I do, it's lol.
It literally made us laugh out loud, so
it did.
It was actually fitting. I don't know. I don't think we have anything else. I thought that was a good little roundabout of topics. Any closing comments?
I don't think so.
No, I mean, just watch anime. I don't know what else to say. It's
enjoy
you might
it.
as well just enjoy it. And make some good food while you do it. And
watch anime, and then watch us talk about anime. That's what we want you to do.
And
the perfect crime.
And you should join our Discord, because there's like 2,000 people on there that would watch anime with you. And then you could, and then it's like, oh, well, I can't get together with my friends because of coronavirus, and that really makes me sad. Well, guess what? You could go join the Discord and make new friends on there, and then watch anime with those people, and you can chat live with them while you watch anime. Hello, people.
Hello.
Some might even say better friends on the Discord.
Hey,
some might say. Anyway, with that, we will go into our second news break, and with that, we have another trivia question for you. This is a good one, I think. So good luck to all listeners. Chika Fujiwara from Kaguya-Sama Love is War is a prodigy in many aspects, such as playing the piano and her grades. How many languages can she speak?
Oh.
Bonus question, what is her self-proclaimed IQ?
Oh.
That's a tough one. Think about it. We'll let you know in just a couple minutes.
Hey, Anime Addicts, I'm back. Mitsugi's here, and, well, I never really went anywhere. Time to bring you your second anime news break, starting off with Comic Market 99, almost at 100. And it looks like they're going to be moving their date from winter 2020 to Golden Week of 2021, which is kind of an interesting choice. And it says that they're citing a couple reasons for this, including that the exhibition hall will be unavailable until the fall of 2021 due to the Olympics and the difficulty of dealing with COVID and maximum capacity and cleaning procedures and just everything that has to be done. So if you're a fan of Comic Cat, you might want to take note of the date change before you make your travel plans to attend the largest anime-related convention in the world. So next up after that, TBS Entertainment has acquired almost half of Manga Box. So that's Tokyo Broadcasting System. TBS Entertainment has announced that they have acquired 49% of the shares of DENA's digital manga platform Manga Box, which is, I feel like that's a fairly new service, but maybe I'm wrong. And DENA retains 51%, of course. TBS Entertainment says that they seek to strengthen their content and promote their media strategy under their, quote, Group Midterm Business Plan 2020. So they're looking to expand operations and enhance their business by having a synergistic joint venture with Manga Box. Next up, COVID has struck again in Hollywood. It looks like the Monster Hunter movie is being delayed all the way back to pretty much April 2021. Of course, they cited COVID for this and other films that are being released about the same time that this one was originally planned to come out. I guess they might not have wanted to compete with them, or for whatever reason, they don't want to have their film coming out at the same time. The $60 million budget Monster Hunter film, which is, of course, based on the game Monster Hunter that is starring Mila Jovovich. Well, you have to wait till 2021 to get your eyes on that one. And lastly, Toho Labyrinth Dungeon Crawling RPG is coming out on the PS4 and Switch on July 16th. So the developer Cube Type had announced this recently, that the new Toho Dojin indie game is going to be coming out. Looks pretty cute. The art looks certainly appealing, I would say. And if you're a fan of the anime-style dungeon crawling RPGs, as I, of course, am, because, I mean, come on, we all love our anime, then you'll probably want to check out this Toho Labyrinth dungeon crawling game, which is coming out here in just a few days. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, as always, we're going to get back to the podcast right now.
My friends are annoyed because they think I have forgotten their actual names. I just call them my senpais and kohais now.
I threw a tennis ball at my cat. I was so caught up in the moment and thought maybe I could capture her, and then we could go on adventures together.
I purchased a motorcycle just so I could pretend I was Onizuka.
I answered the phone with Moshi Moshi.
My poor cat.
I may actually have a problem.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Hello, I'm Mandi from the Anime Addicts Anonymous. Do any of these symptoms sound familiar to you? Do you have 8,572 waifus? Do you struggle with having the theme song to Attack on Titan stuck in your head, even though Jaeger is the only word you know? Then you may be experiencing anime addiction. If you are experiencing anime addiction, then you should visit our website, aaapodcast.com. At Anime Addicts Anonymous, we have dedicated ourselves to making your anime addiction worse. Worse! Yes, worse. Because the real world
just plain sucks. So many resources await you. For just $5 a month, you will have unlimited access to our Hobby Addicts episodes. You will also have access to our hentai episodes, where you can watch a hentai along with us and hear our commentary. Give our after party episodes a listen, where you can hear us struggle to talk about our boring lives outside of anime. That $5 will go to helping us spread anime addiction throughout the world. Yes, it is time for you to make your anime addiction worse.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. In-show trivia question. Chika Fujiwara from Kaguya-Sama is a prodigy in many aspects, such as playing the piano and her grades. How many languages can she speak? Bonus question from the manga. What is her self-proclaimed IQ? She can speak 5 languages, and I think it's because she said her father was a diplomat, if I recall. And we've written not specified which languages. I don't know what her IQ is. Oh, it says 3 in the photo.
Yeah, that was from the manga.
Wow, that's not very likely. It's pretty.
It's also Kaguya's memory of it. So
true. I just love because she says it herself. She's like, "What? What's my IQ? It's 3." Like almost proud, beaming at the 3 whole points. I love it.
And I should mention, for those of you that wanted to join our Discord, of course, if you want to join the Discord, you can do it from our website, aaapodcast.com. Along the top, there's a Discord button. You click it, it takes you straight to Discord. You click join, boom, you're in. It's literally 2 clicks from our homepage. So you really should get on there and join up if you haven't yet. And while you're there, you can go to aaapodcast.com/join. You can join us. You can get our hentai episodes. You can get our Hobby Addicts. We're going to do a hentai episode after the podcast today. It's over 100 exclusive podcasts a year. So, actually, it's over 200 a year, I guess it would be. 52 weeks a year times 8. Yeah. I can't do math. I'm tired.
Over 9,000.
It's too many. I don't know. It's over 100 at least. So,
it's not what I signed up for.
It's a lot. It's a lot of friggin' content, guys, over at AAApodcast.com/join. And now we're going to read a 5-star review. And I should also make a note on that you guys have really come to the table with the reviews and solidly pushed us back to the full 5-star number. However, for those of you watching on Twitch, we are at 698 reviews on iTunes. And if you go to the Apple Podcast app, for example, and write a review, you might be the 7th. For the 700th caller, you can be the 700th review here if you go right now to the app and submit the review for those of you that are on Twitch. So that's a little carrot for you to go after. And now we're gonna read a 5-star review for you from iTunes.
It's time for iTunes review.
All right, and the review is from Commander Shepard, which I guess is from Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Yeah. And my favorite podcast. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite anime podcast on the Citadel. That's what he said. So, not much info there, but thanks, Shep. You're a hero for submitting a 5-star review. So, and it's one of those things. Like, we got 2 more reviews, and we'll be at 700. So it's like you want to get in there and do it, but you don't want to be too fast. You want to be the second person. So, how do we make that happen? So,
but you can see the reviews are that easy, people. Easy.
Guys, and the 5th caller will receive concert tickets to. Okay, all right. Well, And we also have mailbags. So again, if you go to the website, you can click along the top. So much plugging. You can click along the top of the website. You can also submit mailbags via the mailbag button. So
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
I completely forgot to dance. It wasn't even a conscious decision. I was just like reading a message, and I was like, "Oh."
We kind of both did it with our heads. We kind of did. So our first mailbag is from Yotoru Vegeta, who writes, "A magical day to you, AAA." Oh, thank you. Host, if a mysterious being came to you and presented you with the opportunity to erase one anime from your history, which one would you pick, if at all? Note, if you agree to this, you may still end up watching the anime again. There's no protection against it. So I was thinking, at first I was thinking about this like along like negative reasons. I was like, ooh, this one just ruined my life. I never want to watch it again. But I couldn't really think of anything because mostly if I hate something enough, I just don't watch it anymore. And it's already deleted from my mind. But thinking more positively, I was like, I would raise Hunter x Hunter because I want to experience it again for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And get all those feelings again. I'd be happy.
Was that in the rules? Wow, if that's in the rules, I really didn't read it right. Because that would have been like, I would have picked
it's
something.
just perception.
It says if you can read it again. Or if you can watch it again if you want.
I went a very different route with this. Yeah, so I was like, oh, well, I want to erase a show that's been like, it's like, oh, I want to forget I even know the show because I don't want to, because it scarred me for life or something. But then I'm like, oh, but then I have to watch it all again. And then, so I don't want it to be like a long show because it's like, oh, I can get rid of this show from my mind, but I don't want to be tormented in doing so. So I was like, I got to pick a really bad anime that's really short. And so I was like, you know what? Pupa. What a bad anime that was. And I was like, maybe I could find the Pupa drop of the sister eating the little brother.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
I remember that.
I can't find it. I just searched my hard drive and the external hard drive both for the file, and I don't know where it is. So
I mean,
but,
if you start eating peanut butter again, it'll kind of sound like it.
Oh, Nii-chan. That show's disgusting. Like, who wants to watch a girl eating her brother every freaking episode? It's very sexual.
I mean, now I've learned on Twitter that everything's a cake. So maybe he was a cake.
Yeah, I believe it. Nice raspberry cake.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. Now, if he was a raspberry pie, then we'd be talking. Then we'd be...
Yeah.
Her
brother is a pie boy.
I too like a nice big juicy cake. So, okay, that's my answer.
I think this is a silly question because how do you know this hasn't already happened? Like, if you've already erased a show from your memory, you're in the same place regardless. So I wouldn't want to erase anything. These are all valuable experiences. But if I had to choose in the same way that Mandy's like the first watch of something is the best way, I would say any of Satoshi Kon's works, like Paprika or Perfect Blue, or even like Paranoia Agent, like all like good shows or movies that rely on like that mystery element and suspense to kind of like getting the most out of it. So I think those would be what I would pick for a good, like, you kind of need that mystery element. So there you go.
This mysterious being is also going to have to remove all of my Hunter x Hunter stuff because I'm going to be very confused when they erase it from my mind. I'm like, where did all this shit come from?
That would be a nightmare. Like, you wake up, you check your Hunter x Hunter like phone background, turn off your Hunter x Hunter alarm clock. Like, your walls and posters are covered. Yeah, your license. What is this? You turn
my
around,
figure
your entire
case.
back wall is just full of these. What are these characters? Oh my
god.
These
things. What is this very pervy clown all over the place?
How do I reach these keys? I love it. Next mailbag comes from Capablanca, and they say, yo, I apologize if this seems like a loaded question, but I'm very curious after hearing your guys' thoughts on the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. Man, we're having a lot of like live action questions today. You guys have talked about anime adaptations in the past and how awkward it would be to see some things from animated property in a live action. My question is, do you think it would be okay for a director who's adapting an anime to deliberately change a lot of the plot elements or even characters to better serve a live action medium? And they list a bunch of examples, just to make it short. Essentially, if things like don't make sense or cringy or require a lot of CGI. And if that is the case, what do you think is like crossing the line? Like how much change is okay, and is it wise to deliberately mess up with the source material to make what you think is a better product? So kind of in the broad thoughts, changing things for adaptations. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I don't even like live action adaptations. Like I don't know why they're necessary. Like I just don't know. Like it's like, oh, here's this anime. It's so fantastic already. I mean, it has to be to have a you have to have a live action made, because otherwise there wouldn't even be an audience for it. So it's like, this anime is so friggin' great. It's like, well, it's already great. Like, why does it need to be live action? I don't know what I still don't know what we really gain from it, and they screw it up more often than not. So there's my first thought. But I mean, if it doesn't significantly alter the story or like the flow of or the tone, maybe, then it might be okay to remove some scenes that are difficult to adapt. If it won't anger the audiences, like, for the live action Akira that has been talked about for like 300 years now, they were going to change it to like New York instead of Tokyo. Like, I think that's the kind of thing that just pisses people off and doesn't really need to be done. Like, but if you have a scene that just simply isn't going to be able to be done in live action, where it's impossible to adapt it, it's too expensive, it would look like shit. Like, take it out if it's not important, But I still don't know. I still don't even, like, why do we need a live action Akira? Do we?
We need money.
I mean, see, that's the thing. It's like, if the only reason to make it into live action is because you want to make money, then it might not be a good reason. I don't know. My thought.
I will say, whenever they bring them out into live action, they do get more people interested in the franchise, because even if the movie isn't great, like, among fans, we still get like a new wave of all this different kind of merchandise and more interest in a new anime or manga or a bunch of stuff. So that's one good reason to have live actions, I think.
A live action is just like an anime. What it does to anime, what anime does to manga. Like, it just brings it to a wider audience, and you could argue that anime messes with a lot of things and dynamics.
Oh, for sure.
It's a good argument.
I think adaptations need to be changed sometimes or altered for the medium live action. Things have to be changed in order for it to work. And I think, though, I don't like it when they change very important details to the story. And I said, for an example, if like the location of an anime where it takes place is not important to the overall story, then I don't really care if like the cast and location are all, from somewhere in the West. It doesn't that doesn't mean anything to me. It's fine if you want to make an anime with an entirely American cast. But I think what will make me dislike it, though, is if they change a character's entire like backstory and motivations and personality so much to the point where it's a completely different character, then where I lose like the reasons why I fell in love with that character. I'm more likely to dislike it. So that's one thing I don't like that they do in live action adaptations. But overall, they have to change things in order to avoid cringy moments that are in anime.
And I agree with Mandy. I think you have to adapt. You have to change. And I prefer even reinterpretations. In music, when a band does like a cover of another song, if they just play it note for note and sound like the original, what's the point? Like, what did we get out of it? Like, I like when things are reimagined and reinterpreted to make things fit the medium. And kind of what I was thinking of is like changes that are needlessly done for no reason. For example, there's a new Cowboy Bebop live action coming out. And for all intents and purposes, Ein doesn't have to be a corgi. Like, Ein could be any breed of dog, but there's no reason for him not to be a corgi. So for him not to be a corgi would be dumb, and that change would make me upset, even though it really wouldn't impact his personality. Whereas, for example, just a hypothetical, there was the Death Note live action coming up, and as much as like I like Willem Dafoe, I think like the CG Ryuk, the like weird monster guy, like that kind of looked bad and awkward. And I think, I mean, hypothetically, could we get the same philosophy of that character and the same motivations if he just didn't look like that? If they just made him like a little white ball of light, like could they have distilled, like say they didn't have a budget to make a good CG or like odd looking thing, could they have completely reimagined his character as a visual presentation to fit the medium better if they like kind of got rid of his love of apples, let's just say, or just like his whole design and just made him look better integrated into that world while retaining his philosophy. And that's the thing where there's no right or wrong answer, but the director needs to think about what is best for the media without, losing, like Mandi said, the core philosophy and motivations of that being. And I think people are sometimes quick to judge, like, oh, that's not what I know and love, it's therefore bad. But I think you just need to have an open mind, and I want things to change, I guess.
We had that conversation, Hobby Addicts with DMC and Devil May Cry.
Exactly. This isn't Dante, therefore bad.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but I don't know. Did he need to not be Dante? And that's what the whole question is about. So I don't know. I think these were good questions. So
yeah,
let us know if you agree or how much you disagree. And with that,
the time has come.
We're doing it, baby. Our review, Kaguya-Sama, Love is War, Season 2. I passed this back in episode 523. This was a spring 2020 show. Season 1 came out in winter of 2019. We actually reviewed that kind of recently on episode 479. And I was actually on that episode. First time I was around for both seasons, so very excited about that. You can watch it on Funimation. It's a timed exclusive. I'm not sure when it comes to the other platforms, but if you want to watch it right now, spoiler alert, you should. You go to Funimation to do that. So this show, if you don't know for any reason, I actually took the season 1 synopsis because it still applies. Miyuki Shirogane and Kaguya Shinomiya are the student body's top representatives at a prestigious high school. Oh,
there's my books.
Are we going to get some Knights of Sidonia going on?
Oh, here comes the Knights of Sidonia.
We'll be right back in just a minute. I'm sorry.
You're fine. These two students are ranked like top of the nation. They're like respected by their peers and mentors. Miyuki serves as the student council president, and Kaguya serves as the vice president. And these two, spoilers, they've got feelings for one another. They're kind of lovebirds, but the kick is neither of them are willing to admit it, because the first to confess your love is the loser. You're kind of looked down upon. You're the one who's asking for the relationship, and the other one will have power and influence over you. And if you confess, you're just a lesser being. So these two very prideful students are in a constant battle of schemes to kind of draw out a confession from one another. And the rest of the student population and council kind of serve to disrupt their plans and incite chaos. And it's just a comedy. It's a romantic comedy about two people who clearly love one another, but just don't have the pride to submit it. This is done by Studio A1 Pictures, who's done Sword Art Online, Honor Exorcist, Your Lie in April, and directed by Shinichi Omata, who did Rakugo Shinju, San Korea, which I'm going to talk about next week, and Denpa Ana Hosei Shun Otako. So I guess we can just get into our initial expectations, which you'll actually have for once, Mitz, because you've seen season 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I expected more of the same from the first season. I had some hopes for season 2, I would say, but I expected to get more of season 1, which was, for the most part, cleverly written sketch comedy that, is, just cute for the most part and shows how endearing the characters are. So, the comedy, I mean, I don't even know if you can call this show a romance, but it's definitely a comedy. So I expected more of the same.
Yeah. I'll go next. So essentially, I said at the beginning, if the OP was as good as it was in season 1, this show would be a success. And that's really all this show had to, that's the only bar it had to clear. Because honestly, like, I had high expectations going into this show, because to me, this was a sequel of season 1, and I was expecting more of the same. So kind of to justify a review on the podcast, like, it really had to like succeed in what I saw to like, if it was just more of the same, I'd be like, yeah, it's more Kaguya. Why bother? But it really sold me in the first couple episodes that it was as good, if not better. And that kind of got me on board for the rest of the season, and its popularity kind of helped push it into the factor of, yeah, we should definitely talk about this show some more. So, Mandi, what did you think about Kaguya? What were you expecting?
What was I expecting? Well, I love first season. And I did read some of the manga, but I didn't read much past where the first season ended.
Okay.
But I knew that I absolutely loved the first season, how I really liked the direction of the anime. I thought the kind of, I'm trying to think of like, sort of like almost Death Note style, like mind games with, involving like trying to get somebody else to confess to them was cute. And I haven't seen anything like that before. So yeah, I was excited for season 2, hoping that we would get an amazing OP, just like the first season. I was hoping that the kind of weird, sort of almost Shaft-like directing of it would come back, and I wasn't expecting us to get much development in the relationship, because it is a shonen jump. They're gonna drag that out for as long as possible. But I was at least hoping to get some more cute moments where they at least almost get there, and some more development in the side characters. Like, we barely learned anything about Ishigami and some of the other characters in the first season. So that's what I was expecting, and I was excited for it.
Nice.
Did we do spoiler-free recommendations?
Not yet. Mitz is about to lay it on us.
Cool.
This is the same show it was the first season. So if you liked the first season of Kaguya-Sama, then you will like this one. And if you didn't like the first season, you will not like this one. If you haven't seen the first season, this is a show for people who like short form sketch comedy. It's very light, and for the most part, really well done. The characters are enjoyable. I don't think you have to watch the first season to watch this one at all. And whether or not you get the things you want to get out of the season, namely, you want to have like a resolution to the war, maybe like we'll get into that here shortly. But like largely, I think the show is recommendable. I think that whether you like comedy or not, the show is well done as a comedy show. And honestly, like no matter how well done a show is, if you just hate comedy anime, then doesn't matter how good it is, how well done it is, you're just not going to enjoy it. So I would say it's recommendable. For certain audiences, this is going to be like the best thing you've ever seen ever. And for some audiences, you will be turned off immediately. And for most people, it will be like a pretty good show. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's pretty recommendable. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I almost completely agree with Mitz. I think this is an excellent show. I think, is it so good that if you didn't like season 1, this is going to like change your mind and like turn no, like it's more of the same. And I think that it's on par, if not better than season 1. I really dug it. To kind of springboard off what Mitz said earlier, if I could talk, if you want a show about a relationship that is like pure and wholesome, and it like inspires you to find that special someone or reflect on your own relationship, like it's not that show. Like go watch like Ori Monogatari, just because that one's on my mind. But if you want more of like a comedy show, which is anchored by like an enduring relationship that will exceed eventually, and you're fine cheering for it, but you're just more about the eccentric characters, great voice acting, and some like the best visual gags in anime, Kaguya is like one of the best options out there. Like, I don't really feel frustrated by their inevitable relationship, not quite blooming, because just everything else around it is so entertaining and everything is so well put together, and like the artistic flourishes are so good and solid that like, I'm kept around, and it's still a really good show, and I just want more of it. So yeah, people, watch the show if you haven't already.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty much I could just mirror everything Mason said. I was also really excited that we got more development of the characters, that like exactly what I was wanting. We got a whole lot more Ishigami. We got new characters in there. And we got to learn a little bit more about Kaguya and, the main cast in Shirogane. And we have made some movements in this relationship that they're trying to develop. And I think the comedy held up and like just as good, if not even better than season 1. I feel like I laughed a whole lot more in this season than I did in season 1, and I think like the visuals were just as good. Maybe some of them weren't as kind of, I'm trying to think about the right word. Like the only thing I can think of is Shaft. Maybe they weren't as Shaft-ish season 1. But and also I thought the OP for this one was just as good as the first season. There are some really cute scenes of like Chica like in her little detective outfit looking for clues, and it's just so cute. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I even think this season had some more I'm hesitant to say drama, but some slightly more serious moments than season 1 did. It wasn't all gags. And yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I do highly recommend it.
And with that, let's get into the very light spoiler discussion, because there's not a lot to spoil here.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
Yeah, so I think the best place to start is kind of just with our favorite sketches or episodes or arcs.
Yeah, I loved the board game.
The board game and episode 1.
Yeah.
If you remember during my impression, I was like the first half of the first episode was just kind of meh for me. Like that was probably one of my weakest like sketches. But the second half of episode 1, which is the game of life, is so spectacular. It's all 4 characters coming together, doing exactly what they did so well, and that's what exactly pulled me in. I thought that was such a good episode. Going to the last episode where they have to take pictures together, and the way it shows them like posing with one another and those dynamics. I think the shot of Shirogane and Chika just like going waka 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 waka, like pose together awkwardly, is probably the single best moment of the entire show. I thought that was a great episode. I think episode 8, when they have to like teach the new girl Ino to like break the rules by like taking pictures of one another and making like cute faces that are ugly faces
with their little mustaches.
Yeah, that was great. And then we get like almost kiss scene in like the clubhouse, and like she's got heart sickness or whatever, aka love sickness, aka she goes to the doctor and is like, I'm suffering from all these diseases, and dude's like, nah, you're in love, and everyone's like embarrassed for her. Those are so good. Those are so like dumb and like so anime-esque, but like I don't know, like I wasn't upset by it. Like the show feels like 2 magnets that you're like slowly pushing towards one another. Like it's only a matter of time before like those bonds just like snap them together. So it's just like you're just along for the ride until then. So I thought it was solid.
Yeah, I agree. There are still like those anime moments where it's like, well, won't they? And then like in the clubhouse, we all knew they weren't going to kiss. We knew someone was going to interrupt. It was inevitable. But it still wasn't frustrating for me though. And normally in a lot of like, if this was like a shoujo, I would be like, God, I'm so tired of this trope and close the book, which I've done recently, very recently. I got really mad at a series. It was like, I'm done with this. But yeah, no, that for some reason in this though, it's not as frustrating because I feel like we know they both really like each other and they know that they like each other.
And it's genuine. It's genuine.
Yeah, it is very genuine. And except for like, what was it? Was it the fortune telling when they're like, they're not compatible? was that in the season? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. When they were asking about like what your birthday is.
Yeah. The horoscope. Yeah. And but no, it's for some reason it's still not frustrating. I thought that this whole joke of like them trying to get each other to confess was going to get old. I was wary of that going into season 2 because I thought, man, how can they possibly keep doing this joke over and over and over? But they kept finding new, fresh ways to do it that still kept me engaged with the series and still enjoying. I'm just enjoying being there along for the ride. And no, I feel like we're still making some progress in them coming closer together. That I'm just enjoying it.
Any sketches you enjoyed or points you can think back on?
Oh, I already talked about the Game of Life one. I thought that was great, and I loved it how Chika and Kaguya ended up getting married.
Yeah,
it was so cute.
Having kids.
Yeah, because at first it was Chika and Shirogane get married, and Kaguya's like, forever alone. Yeah. But then it turns around where Chika and Kaguya get married. It was so cute. And show them like in wedding dresses together.
Yeah.
I really like Hayasaki, and I like the episode where she was trying to get Shirogane to fall for her, but of
Episode
course,
4, which was
Yeah.
the perfect, like, because as an audience, you're like, why don't you just get together? Like, it's so easy. Come on, people. Like, we've seen this in anime. Just relationships are so easy, and that's kind of the way that's like, you guys aren't in relationships. Prove it. And she tries and like fails because Shirogane is the champ. The
Yeah.
underwear debate was hilarious.
I really thought that was a good episode because Hayasake there is there for us. She's our eyes into
She's
the
the
series.
frustrated one.
Yeah, she's the one who's like, why don't you just tell him?
Do it.
Just do it. And then Kage is like, oh yeah, if you think you're so good, why don't you get him to fall for you? And of course she tries and fails miserably because Shirogane only has one person in his eyes. And it was just, I thought that was really cute that he could not have cared less. And really, that was a big hit to Hayasake's, ego, but it was really cute though. I also, of course, everybody loves the episode with Ishigami and his whole development, and just I thought that was a really good episode. It wasn't full of jokes either. It was pretty serious.
I thought that was an okay episode.
Oh, I like that one a lot.
I liked Ishigami like trying out for the cheering club, like, and doing like the whole like cross wrestling stuff, because I thought that was like him like trying to come out of his shell, like really pushing himself to like grow, and I think that was like a good lesson. And I think the story about like his past and kind of how it haunts him, like I thought that was a fine episode, but I didn't think it made me as, I don't know, I don't know if it was too ham-fisted or just it didn't make me feel quite as much for him as like the show wanted me to. Like it was well done, but I guess the way he so quickly snapped out of it was just kind of fine. It wasn't like the worst episodes of the show are still good. Like to me, the episode where Shirogane like can't sing very well or has like the pretty eyes, that one episode, like those just
He got some sleep finally.
they were just decent episodes, but they were kind of just compared to how stellar I thought everything else were. They were just kind of an episode.
Well, I think the reason why I like all of the issues with each of them is that they all revolve around communication. Like Shirogane and Kaguya-Sama can't communicate.
Komigami can't communicate.
Yeah, they can't communicate with each other. They're afraid to confess. And then Ishigami has troubles confessing that he wasn't the one that, he wasn't the bad guy in that relationship, that he wasn't the one that was spreading the rumors or anything. It was that girl's boyfriend I can't remember her name, but no, I thought it was interesting that. And then like Miko also, she has a trouble with giving that speech and needs Shirogane to be there to help support her, even though he defeated her. But I like how they all come together and learn how to communicate together.
Mitch, any thoughts? We want to move to characters.
There are definitely sketches in the show that I thought were stronger than others. Ultimately, like my expectations for the show were pretty, as far as like the development of the sort of relationship between Kaguya-Sama and Shirogane. I knew they were never gonna do anything with it, so like I didn't really like. It's like I had really no room to be frustrated because my expectations were that it wouldn't happen. And so like I kind of just put that aside immediately because that's just kind of how anime is. And it's like this show kind of ends when that happens, because that's the point of the show is like the gags surrounding their inability to properly communicate their feelings, and as soon as they figure out how to work through that, the premise of the show ends. So like my opinion is that they will either never get they will have. The manga could be 1,000 episodes, 1,000 volumes. They will either never get there or they will get there at the very end. But ultimately, like I thought the best episode in the show was the backstory of Ishigami, which is kind of weird because that's that's like the episode that's the most serious out of all of them. Like it was nice to get some character development surrounding Ishigami a little bit more. It was really meaningful. It was really nice to see Shirogane come in there towards the end of the side story and be like the hero sort of. And yeah, it was just really good to see it. And I enjoyed that episode. And the sports fest, and then the sports festival section just in general with Shirogane's father. I thought his father's like, I don't know, I really like him. He was just kind of going in.
Oh yeah.
He was just going in there for his son and trying to be a good dad. I feel like the season didn't have enough Chica in it. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but like I feel like Chica was more prevalent in the last episode or in the last season, and I feel like we didn't get quite as much of her. Like she exists, but like like we got a whole section of her with like eating ramen before in the last season, and and that was my favorite part of the last season was the ramen episode, was the ramen scene.
She did come back to teach her baby child how to sing.
Yeah, and then how to dance.
And how to dance. Yeah.
Like I've said this before. Probably my least favorite part about season 1 was Chica. Like I think she was just
I love her
too much. She was just so extra. She was just too. I don't know. Like one part that I love about the show is usually in a lot of shows I feel like, oh, this is the character that represents me or the one I'm most closely like associated with. But I feel like this show, like I feel like I'm dispersed. Like I see some of myself in Shirogane, some of myself in Kaguya, some of myself in Ichigami. Like I really connect with each one of them. And I felt like in season 1 I would have just been like going insane if I like be around Chica. Like, she was just too much for me to like deal with. But I think she was more restrained in this season. And not that she wasn't present, but she was just turned down a little bit. And I thought she was way more enjoyable this season. And I thought it was for the better. So she was always around. She was just doing like silly things like the game of life or like pumping up the balloon, like silly things that were way less harmful and just more enjoyable. So I liked Chica a lot more in this season.
I loved her in first season because I thought, man, I would go insane if it was just Ishigami and Kaguya. They get so exhausting after a while where I'm like, I'm so happy we have somebody who's out there and is able to make a joke and try to have some fun. Those two would get so exhausting if it was just the two of them. So I'm so happy that we had a good laugh in Chica.
I ultimately like, I know this is like the minority opinion. Like I think this is a fine anime, but I ultimately don't like the premise of this show. Like I don't think there's anything to celebrate about the fact that two people cannot communicate at all. Like they can't communicate. They can't, like, it's so freaking obvious to everybody in the show, all of us, to every single character in the show knows that they're in love and they just can't do it. And it's like all they look like is petty and stubborn. Like I don't want to like, throw some water on it, but like I don't know, like to me Kaguya and Shirogane like aren't great characters. Like to me they just look like stubborn conceited rich kids. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like I know that that's the premise of the show, but it's like if you literally can't communicate your feelings simply because you are too prideful to like be the one that says I love you or whatever. Like I don't know. I just have a hard time celebrating that. Like I know it's just a comedy show, but like it has been 24 episodes now, and it's we're still not really getting around to like being able to communicate. So to me, it's like some of the like when you have another character in the show, like what was the girl's name? I'm looking it up. Hayasaka, the what the hell is she? Like a butler or something?
She's Kaguya's maid.
I mean, like, so this maid jumps in immediately and is able to like be more open with herself, and Kaguya is supposed to be like this elite, epic, like I can do anything, I'm gonna conquer the world no matter what happens person. I'm rich. My grades are perfect. I shit diamonds, all this, whatever. And it's like at the end, she can't do something that's so simple that another person can do, like it's nothing. And then I don't know. I just have a hard time like celebrating them for it because I don't know. It's if this was a real life, and they do horrible things to each other, by the way, also trying
to drug them.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to throw cold water on it. I'm just trying to like look at it from a different perspective. And I don't know. Like, I wish that I really wanted them to get over it and just maybe they got over it like episode 10. And there's some like, we get to have some cute stuff happen. But ultimately that didn't happen. My favorite skit in the show, that being said, was the episode where all the kids in the school think that they're going to confess to each other in the schoolyard. And
Oh yeah, that was cute.
and Chica's there, and she like I can't remember. She comes in and just complicates the scene completely, and ultimately like they just end up running away because they know how fucked the whole situation is. But if we get a season 3 of this show, I really hope they do some more with it. I really want to see them like. And ultimately, the ultimate character development for Kaguya and Shirogane would be for them to get over it and like become normal people and like learn how to communicate and learn how to love and stuff like that. And so like that would be a great character development for them, I think, in a third season. So if they do give us that, and I have full expectations that they will, I hope that they get there because that would be great.
No, I completely agree because I really love this series. I think it's really funny, but I completely agree with you because I think it's the side characters who really make me like it. Because if it was like I like Kaguya in Shirogane for just being a part of the overall show, but if it was just them, it would drive me crazy because they are so prideful, so arrogant. I would hate it. That's what I need. I need Chica in there. I need somebody who is not like that.
And it's really interesting because Ishigami is kind of like the yin to their yang because Kaguya is like she starts off as being this, she's perfect, right? And she glitters when she walks and all this shit. But she has all these flaws that like basically make the show what it is. Ishigami is the opposite. Like he's like this loser. Everybody hates him, whatever. He's a outcast. Close to being like a hikikomori at one point, whatever. And then like he actually comes like up. So like he is actually like achieving some good character growth. And I really loved that about the season. And then Kaguya and Shirogane are kind of the opposite. So they're kind of like the yin yang, I guess. So I don't know. And that's why I really like Ishigami. Like he's kind of a I don't know. I guess he's sort of tertiary. Like he's in scenes, but he doesn't do much a lot of the time. But I really think he's valuable as a character in the show, and I think that's why he got such a good episode at the end of the season.
I feel that. I think the side characters help them shine. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh yeah, I was saying at the beginning, the season of Ishigami, and you also have to know their relationship cannot proceed because she has a cell phone. Without line, you can't have a relationship in modern age. That was established. So now that she has a cell phone. Relationships are open, baby. We're ready for business.
We're done for business time, baby.
The last character I want to shout out is the narrator. I thought the narrator, was a little bit like more reserved this season, but he was so funny. The best in episode 8 when like Shirogane is like shaking Kaguya, like, "Who did this to you?" And like the narrator is like answering him. He's like, "You dummy." I thought that was amazing. So it was much more reserved, but hilarious. The narrator, the KG or not G, you know what I mean. It was amazing. Probably breaking up a lot. Sorry.
You are. It's okay. Your internet's kind of bad.
It is dying on me. What art and animation?
It'll sound great on iTunes.
Magnificent art and animation.
Oh yeah, I thought the animation was fantastic, especially the scene where Chica is crying after teaching her baby bird how to sing. I thought that whole scene where she's just breaks down crying the animation of it was so well done. I think overall it just looks fantastic.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The show just, it looks really good. it doesn't even need to, honestly. There's not a lot of like fast movement going on, or we're not having foot races and fighting monsters, So like they can get a lot done here with just simple conversation, but it still looks really great, and I love the way it's colorized, and the character designs are great. So, but ultimately, I think that was kind of the case with the first season as well. So,
I feel like it
has been a while,
went
but
above beyond in a lot of things. Like they have like a lot of these like sweeping camera movements. Like when you mentioned the like confession, like it's a big like sweeping shot from under the arc, like them standing there. It's like these like tasteful like letterboxing, and there's like dramatic moments. There's these chibi moments. There's reaction faces that rival kanji. That's what I was thinking of. A lot of textures, colors to mix things up. I think one of the best moments is when Shirogane comes to Kaguya's classroom and that confession scene is like, "Hey, I need to talk to you outside," and she like puts her head down and like shimmies across the floor. It's amazing. Like her flustered thing is amazing. There's a Mario Kart knockoff called Marine Kart, and it has like its own title screen. It has its own
That was
church
cute.
legend, and they're
Yeah.
talking technical stuff. Like they didn't need that. They didn't need to do any of that. But they gave it just a little bit of life that made it look good. The only moment where I felt a little cheap was in episode 4 when like Kaguya is like crushed by a hydraulic press. It looked, if you go back and watch it, it looks very cheesy. It was like cut and paste, and they just squashed it down. It's as bad as I'm sounding right now. Disregard. Anyway, music final score.
Yeah, the OP I thought maybe it's not as catchy as the first season, but I still thought it was great. Every episode I watched the OP because I loved it. The visuals maybe were not as good as season 1, but I don't know. I still thought it still looked fine though. It still looked great. I think yet there was some still cute moments in the OP, especially with like moving the like cutting the egg in half and switching it upside down to be a heart, and then that turning into the heart of the logo, and then Chica with her little detective gear on was really cute. Overall I thought the music was great. I thought it sounded just as good as season 1.
Yeah, the OP is really good. I don't know what the hell they mean by daddy do, or what is it, daddy, what the fuck is the
Yeah, it's Daddy You.
Daddy.
That's the only reason why I thought season 1 was better than that weird English language.
I just kept thinking like dirty thoughts. I was like I don't know. I don't want to go there, but like, fuck it. But like, just a weird
I'm gonna
thing
look up
to
the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird daddy do. Like, what does that mean exactly? I don't know. Daddy do what? I don't know. I thought it was pretty catchy. I think I walked to 7-Eleven once while I've been like walking to 7-Eleven to buy Monster in the morning, and like I'll like watch anime while I'm walking, and I think I was kind of like dancing around on the sidewalk while I was one of those days. I don't know that it's better than the first OP, because nothing beats the love is war, like it's, it's too catchy, but like the fact that I can remember it after a year is pretty telling, because it's not, again, without even listening to it like on my phone or anything. But it was still good. Like I think it's got to be the same people. It has the exact same tone.
I think it is. I think it's the same artist.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, they should stick with what they're doing because it's working. So yeah, and it's become kind of a trademark of the anime at this point, that it has that sort of an opening. So definitely a good OP, way better than most. I don't know about like I think that the visuals are kind of take them or leave them, like whatever. How many different types of like love references can they make in an OP? But like the song itself is really catchy. It's really good.
I agree. We lost Mason.
Mason's gone.
I'm here. Still super broken up. I'll let you guys. I just agree with whatever you guys said. So doing final scores or any comments?
Yeah, I can go ahead. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to season 3. I think this had some really cute scenes. I really like a lot of the character development that we got with the side characters. I really enjoyed Ishigami's whole backstory and his development, and I like the addition of Miko. And we didn't really talk about the scene where they're looking at the stars together. I thought that was really cute. Shirogane got a bit of a boost to his confidence. Not, he didn't know he was doing it, but it was really cute. And no, overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it looks great. The characters are so wonderful. And man, I don't know what kind of score I'd give it, though. I think I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I think the side characters definitely help it out a lot, for sure.
I think the anime it's about as good as the first season for me. I really see, the thing is that like if they do confess that they're love or whatever, they can still do stuff. Like there's plenty of stuff in relationships that they could have little battles over. Like it could be battles over what movie are we gonna see, and they could definitely torment each other inside their relationship. I really want to just see them get to it. So I ultimately, like, I just think the show is, for the right audience, is awesome, and I think for the wrong audience, it's not. But I think, like I said in the opening portion of this review, I think that the majority of people will like it pretty well. it's just going to be the people that need to have something that like develops quickly, or they just hate comedy. And I really have a tough time calling this a romance, because in order to be a romance, like, you're going to have romance in it, and they really don't have a lot of romance in the show. So ultimately, I think it's just pretty much the same. I looked up what I gave the last season. I gave the last season a 3.5, so that's what I'm going to give this one as well. I'm going to give it 3.5. I don't know. Please fucking quit being so stubborn out of 5.
I'll be quick. I agree with everything. I think this is an exceptional show that was like the first one, better. The director also was involved with Arakawa Under the Bridge, and I feel
And
the same way
Nakugo,
about
Shinju.
yeah. It's supposed to be Arakawa, which is a comedy romance with skits in it. Like, I felt the same way. Like, I really liked season 1, and I thought season 2 was just a little bit better. And like Mitsugi, I rated season 1 3.5, and I could easily give that, but I just enjoyed this one more. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to give it 4 Mada 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 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I gave season 1 a 4, and I did like this one more.
So you and I both gave it a 0.5 bomb,
Yeah.
and I'm absolutely fine with that. So what did our listeners think, and what did our listeners poll about the best characters?
We had so many votes, so more than Tower of God. It was great. So thank you so much to everybody who votes in these, just so we know, shout you out and let everyone know what our listeners thought, and if you disagree with us. But overall, the average was a 4.5.
Wow.
And we did do a character poll.
Oh, wow.
Of who
I like it.
your favorite characters were. Out of Kaguya and Chika, 55% said Kaguya.
Yeah,
Out of highest,
vindicated. Yes, thank you, everybody.
out of the side characters of Hayasaka, Ino, and Kei, Hayasaka, of course, won by a landslide, 67%. Between Shirogane and Ishigami, Shirogane won by 60%. And out of all of those three, Kaguya, Hayasaka, and Shirogane, Kaguya won by 54%. Hayasaka got 34%, and Shirogane got 12%.
Damn,
But,
Shirogane got trounced.
I know.
My poor boy.
Lots of comments. All of them are pretty positive out of all the ones that we got. I think there's only one in there that was like, not my thing, which is fine. But yeah, overall, a lot of positivity. I think that is the end of our show. Thank you for sticking around. I had fun.
Yeah, and next week we're going to review Bofuri, which I think people also like quite a bit. Maybe not as much as Kaguya, but generally positive. So we're going to... And then the following week is Impressions from summer. So...
Coming up fast.
Yeah, we might have been able to start Impressions next week, but there's only like a few shows that I think would have enough episodes out, and so I think we're just going to wait. But
some of them are completely out, which is shocking. So we can just review the whole show for you. But it's going to be interesting to see what we're able to fill our season with. So there's not a lot.
I agree.
We have to have it if we don't want it.
Whatever Mason said, I agree with.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Mason is he's gone.
But thank you so much for joining us. Stick around for an after party, which is coming up next. And again, follow us on aaapodcast.com/join to get extra content. iTunes, subscribe. Please leave us a review. And thank you so much. We love you. Mwah.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a wonderful week.
Yep. Have a great
Be
week.
safe.
Bye-bye.